Hello everyone, I am Vandana Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department CDOE from Jaipur National University welcomes you all in the BCA Semester 2. We are working in the session 4, Unit 4, and in this session we will be focusing on cascade style sheet. We will be discussing about what does the cascade style sheet means, how can you define it, what are its uses and its type. So let's move on to the session now. Let's begin with the session. What does the cascade style sheet means? Cascade style sheet is a tool that defines how web documents look on the screen or while printing. Since its introduction in 1994, W3C has encouraged the use of style sheet for web designing. Cascade style sheet lets you control the presentation of your contents, whether it is on screen or we are printing it, for accessibility, making web design more flexible and more efficient. Cascading style sheet provide easy and effective alternatives to specify various attributes. Attributes can be alignment, can be there, cell padding can be there, height, width, border, thickness, colors. All these are the different attributes which can be applied to your text when it will be printed or it will be displayed on the browser's window. Using cascading style sheet, you can specify a number of style. Using cascading style sheet, you can specify a number of style properties for a given HTML element. Each property has a name. Each property has a name and the value. Every property has a name and the value, and it is separated by a colon. And each property declaration is separated by the semicolon. If we are starting with the another property, then we have to place the semicolon. Suppose we are writing H1 color, then we will use colon sign. So this is the name and the value I will write green. So this is the value. Now I have to define the another property, then we will use the semicolon. Then we will write thickness, then it can be 2 pixels, 8 pixels accordingly. If we have to define the another property, then I'll use the semicolon. So this is the basically way how this is the tag, these are its properties, this is the name of the property, this is the value, this is the name of the property, and this is the value. Now we will discuss the difference between HTML versus the cascade style sheet CSS. Earlier in the previous sessions, we have discussed all the tags using the HTML. Now within the HTML, we can differentiate and we can give the properties, we can give all the attributes using the CSS. How does it makes difference? What is the difference between both of them? It is like when we are working with the HTML, then the HTML creates the content and structure of the web page. In HTML, we can create the content for the web page. We define the structure for the web page and which will be displayed by the browser's window. So it basically specify the main proper complete body of your text, body of your web page. Actual contents will be displayed and given by the HTML. Now CSS is the part of it. Another thing is it controls the presentation of styling a web page. In this we can give the styling like the how your paragraph, how your headings will be displayed on the screen. Its thickness, its size, its color, and so many other styles can be applied. So how interactively, how beautifully it will be displayed on the screen, it can be specified with the help of the CSS. So CSS control the styling and presentation, and HTML displays the content and the structure. Now we will discuss the difference in detail. Some points are there. What is the CSS and what is HTML? HTML is the hypertext markup language and CSS is the cascade style sheet. Your HTML defines the structure and contents for the web page. This is the same difference, we have discussed it. Then enhances the design and layout of the web page. Your cascade style sheet defines the layout, how your document will be displayed on the screen. The tags which can be, these are the different tags which can be used with the HTML, and these are the different classes. These are the different attributes which can be given with the help of CSS. Extension for CSS file is .cs, and for HTML we have extension .htm or .html. Then we have in the HTML we can add the links, we can add the tables, we can add the images. Now basically what is happening there, we will insert the things, we will insert the objects with the help of the HTML coding, and their behavior, their attributes, their looks can be changed with the help of the CSS. There are different ways how can you define them. Then in the, suppose we have inserted a paragraph. Now how your paragraph will look like, you can give the colors, you can give the font, you can give the layout. Basically it is the another way of deciding the colors, fonts and the layouts. Content can be written in the main HTML document, and in the CSS content can be written in the same document of your HTML coding, or you can create the another separate document also. There are both the ways. So these are the differences. Now let's take the example how we do the coding. First, this is the first example of HTML document that makes use of font tag and associated attribute to specify the text color and font and their sizes. So how we use the font for a particular paragraph? Suppose we are writing the HTML coding. So we start with these basic tags. Document type we have mentioned. Then we have given HTML head, title. In the title we have given the title HTML CSS. Title is closed. This is a container tag. Then we have closed the head section. So this is the head section. Head section is closed here. We have defined it. Now we will start with the body tag which contains the actual contents. Whatever it is to be displayed on browser's window should be written after the body tag. So your body tag contains all the information, all the contents, images, text, pictures are there, videos are there, everything, list, different kind of lists are there. So contents will be given in the body tag, and the style and behavior of that particular content can be defined using the CSS. So paragraph tag we have started. Now we have, after the paragraph tag we have taken font tag. These are the attributes of the font tag. This is the content, this is the paragraph. Now font tag is closed and P tag is close. Now what is happening here? Whatever contents, as we have opening and closing tag for every tag. What is the basically use of opening and closing tags? Opening tag defines from where the effect of that particular tag will be started, and closing of the tag defines from where it has to be stopped. So if we have started the font tag here, so yeah, effect of the font tag will be applicable to this particular content, this particular word, line or a page. Till now it is not closed. As we have closed the font tag, then effect of that particular font tag is closed now. It is effective from here to here till this section only. So that can be done with the HTML coding with the help of opening and closing tags. Some of the tags are the self-closing tag. They does not require like BR, HR because there is no use for them. They can be used without closing tags also. So what we are discussing, basically the thing is this color, this size can be given in this way like we have done in the HTML. These properties can be defined with the help of the CSS also. With the help of the CSS, it can be defined in the head part, in the body part, or in the separate another file. So we will discuss them in detail. See, we can rewrite the code with the help of CSS. Now this is the previous one is, this one is the example of HTML code. Just notice we have taken the font tag, its color and size has to be, it is defined, size is 5 and color is green. Now the same code we will be doing with the help of the CSS. So now just see the difference, what the difference is. Now we have taken the CSS. In the CSS, the things are same, only the defining properties and way is little different. Again we have started the body tag. Rest structure is as it is, it remains the same. Document type, HTML, head, title, then head is closed, body is started. Now in place of this previous font color and size, what we have taken? We have taken P. P is the tag. This is the name of the attribute. This is the value of the attribute. And as we discussed, to write the value, we have to put the semicolon. Color is green. Now we start with the another attribute. Then we will put the this semicolon. This is the colon and this is the semicolon. Then we will write the name of the attribute. Then we will write, then you have to mention its value. So this is the colon sign there and this is the semicolon sign there. So this is the way where we can define the cascade style sheet. This is the small simple example of font tag. How can you do it? With the help of CSS. Now, what does the cascade style sheet means? Cascade means that a style applied to a parent element will also apply to all children elements within the parent. From where we have started it, it will be applied to entire session. If you have defined the elements in the body tag, then it will be restricted to the specific paragraph, to a specific table where it has been started and closed. It directs the limit. If you define it in the head section, then it will be applicable to entire page. So that's what we are discussing. It can be applied to all children element with the parent element. So when you are applying any style to an element, you have to be careful about child elements. You have to apply different styles to children also. CSS is used to style and lay out the web page. It controls the look and feel of the website by changing the elements like color, font size, margin, spacing and many much more. Then we have the different three types of the CSS. What are the three ways by which you can specify the CSS? CSS can be defined in three ways: external CSS, internal CSS and inline CSS. Now in brief we will discuss their difference. What does they mean? The first is the external CSS. External CSS means specifying the behavior and attributes of the tag in a separate file. That file can be saved with the extension .css, defines style sheet rules in the separate CSS file and then include that file in your browser's file. Means we have created a separate file, and the benefit of creating the separate file is the file has been created with the certain style and attributes of a particular paragraph or for the particular page. It can be called and it can be recalled in your web page whenever it is required. So creating the separate file is the external CSS. Now we have internal CSS. Internal CSS define style sheet rule in the header section of the document using the style tag. In the same document, within the same document, you can define in the header section. Header section means between the head tag with the help of style tag. So when if we have defined the style in the head section, it will be applicable to the entire web page. Then we have the third part is the inline CSS. Inline CSS is when we define the different kind of styles, different kind of thickness, borders, colors and attributes within the body of the document. So there are three ways: creating a separate file which can be saved with the .css, creating internal CSS where we can define the CSS in the header section with the help of style tag, and the third way is defining the CSS, defining the attributes for the different tags within the body tag itself, as we do for the HTML coding. So now we will discuss each one by one with the help of the examples. What does the external CSS? External CSS, if you need to use your style sheet on various pages. Suppose we are working with a big project, we are working with creating a website, so some set of structure we can define it. Now we will discuss each one by one in detail. How can you create the external CSS? If you need to use your style sheet on various pages, then it is always recommended to define a common style sheet in a separate file. A CSS file will have the extension .css. The extension is .css and it will be included in the HTML files using the link tag. You can create your separate CSS. Suppose we are creating a website, then we can create a class, a separate set pattern that which font will to be used, size of the font, color for the font, thickness, bold, italic, underline. These are the things like we can say. For the paragraph tag, a pattern is font, which font we are taking, what will be the size for the font, what will be the headings, colors, what is the thickness. So these are the things basically we have. It can be called as a class. So we can create a class which is defined in a separate file, and now we can refer this file whenever it is required in any of the web page. So in each and every page, when we are doing the coding, we will not have to specify the font name, size, color and thickness for each and every single web page. Okay, it saves the time and it creates the similarity to entire website. For the entire website, font will be same, colors will be set, that for headings we are taken the red color, for the paragraph we have taken the some another color, pink color, gray color, blue color. So we have set a pattern for the entire website which creates the similarity and uniformity for the website also. So this is the way, using the external CSS, create a separate file, save it with the .css, and you can call it, you can refer it in any of the web page with the help of the link tag. Link tag is there. You can give the name as we do in the linking, hyper reference. Then see, this is the example. How can you create a separate file? Like this class will be created. We have taken color. First of all, we have taken red. Red means color will be red. This is the name. This is the value separated by a colon, and then to start the another class, we have to put the semicolon. Then this curly braces are used to specify this is the specific separate class. Then we have taken another style is thickness. In the thickness, we will put the curly braces. Within the curly braces, you will write font size, colon sign, which font size you have taken, and then we have semicolon to finish it. Then we will start with the third thing, green, color is green. Now these three classes we have created. Now in the next page we will see how can you call them in your HTML page. So here we have defined three different CSS rules that will be applicable to three different classes defined for the HTML tag, and this is the way you can define it. Now we have, see, we defined three things there, three classes, red, thick and green. Now here in this document we can link it with the help of the link tag. Link tag we have started. Then we have mentioned the style sheet, which type. We have to always specify the type, which kind of document we are calling. We are calling it the CSS, cascade style sheet. Then with the href, hyperreference, we have to give the name of the file, style.css. This is the link and this is the URL of your CSS file. As we discussed, we have to always save our cascade style sheet with the dot extension of CSS, and your HTML pages always to be saved with the extension .htm or .html. Now in the body tag you can call it class red, class thick and class green. What are these classes? These are the classes which we have defined here in the separate file, and this file has been called, has been linked in this document by giving its name. We have given the name using the hyperreference attribute. Now class red, whatever has been defined in the class red, whatever color is defined, whatever size is defined, whatever font name is defined will be applicable to this is red. And the thickness in this class, whatever you have specified will be applicable there. In the green class, whatever we have specified will be applicable with this particular sentence. Now here we have closed the P tag. So this is applicable till here. This is applicable till this line, and this is the end of this P tag. Now you can close it, and then body is closed and HTML is close. So basic thing is defining the type of the document and mentioning the URL and name of your CSS. Here the name of our CSS is style.css. So this is the way we can create separate file. Now see what is the output. The output is, this is red, this is thick, this is green, and this is thick and green. So these are the styles we specified in the separate file. We link them in our web page with the help of the link tag, and this is the output, how it will look when you will view it in the browser's window. Now moving on to the next type of the CSS. Next type of CSS is internal CSS. Here you will be defining the cascade style sheet in the same HTML coding page. There is no separate CSS file. It is helpful in such a cases where you have to specify the style and behavior for the text for every page separately and differently according to the requirement. It is depends on the choice and depends on the conditions. Whatever are the requirement, accordingly you can use internal CSS and external CSS. It is up to web designer, web developer, according to the contents, according to the layout of your contents. He or she has to decide where we have to create the separate file and where we need to specify the things in the same file. How you will define the CSS in the same file? Let's focus on it. If you want to apply style sheet rules to a single document only, then you can include those rules in the header section of your web page with the help of the style tag. Basically, two things to be kept in mind. Within the same page header section and with the help of the style tag, it shows that it is the internal CSS file. Now, rules defined in the internal style sheet override the rules defined in the external CSS file also. The example, now we will see the example. See now in the same file, how can you do it? See now, the earlier the two documents were there. Now these two documents are combined within the same page. You can just remember and you can differentiate here only on this screen. Earlier on the previous external sheet, that was the defined in the separate CSS, and that was the our HTML coding. So now in the internal CSS, we have combined both the things in the same page only. No need to create the separate style sheet. See how can we define this? Style is the tag. Now we have to use its type. In the type, again you have to mention which type of document it is. It is a CSS file. So we have to specify the type of the file. Then we will define these classes with their names and their values. What the name is? Red is the name of the class. This is the name of the attribute and this is the value of the particular attribute. This is the name and this is the value. This is the another class. Font size is the name and this is the value. Third, we have taken another class. This is the name for the property and this green is the value. Basically things are same, but we are doing it. Here we are doing the things. Here we are defining the cascade style sheet in the same document, and there we created the separate file and we call them with the help of the link tag. Now same calling will be done. Class red is called here, class thick is called here, class green is called here. Now what is the difference between these two types of CSS? Earlier we created in the separate file. What is the benefit of creating the separate CSS is, once the class has been defined, like we have set a pattern, which font name we will be using, which color we will be using, which size is there, what is the thickness there, and some more other styles and features. Many more features are there which can be used. So we set a pattern there. Now the pattern is set, that format is set. We need to just link the file in the header section with the help of link attribute, and entire pattern will be followed and will be displayed and applied to your contents. Here we have to specify everywhere, whenever it is required, you have to create the class, you have to call it. Basically, it depends on the situation, it depends on the contents of your website and web pages. Then we have, this is the output. The output will remain the same because these are the different ways how you can define the class. This is the red color, this is thick, this is green, this is the thick and green. The 4 classes we created and 4 classes we have called upon in the same file using the CSS, using the class attribute. Now the third one is using the inline CSS, rarely used. This is the basically way, as we are doing the HTML coding, in the same way in the body tag only we define the class there. So using the inline CSS, what does the inline CSS is? You can apply style sheet rules directly to any HTML element using the style attribute of relevant tags. Whatever tags we are using, there only we specify their style and their attribute as we do in the HTML coding. That becomes the alternative way, whether you want to use the HTML tags, font, size, color, or whether you need to convert them in the CSS, style, color, thickness, borders, and etc. So making a particular change in any HTML element, these are the rules which defined in line within the element override the rules with the external CSS file, as well as rules can be defined with the style element. Now see the example of it. Now this is the example. Here only, no need to create the separate CSS, no need to define anything in the head section. Directly we do the coding as we do the coding in the same way, and we define the style there. These 4 styles are there: color, font size, then again different color, different font size. So 4 classes we have created, and once we have given the text, it will be applied to all. Yes. See, in all the CSS, the output remains the same, only we are applying the alternative 3 different ways. Now we will read these codings with the help of the another examples, so you will understand the concept more clearly. Now we have defined their meta set, meta character set. What does this meta character means? What are the meta tags? When we create our website, we create our web pages, we display the contents. Contents is the actually information which will be displayed in the browser's window. This is the thing which is to be displayed to the audience. But now that calls the information about the website. But about that information we have to specify. So we can say it information of information. What contents we are writing in our web page, we have to specify about it. What the website is, what is the type of the website, what we are specifying, what information we are giving in this website. Suppose I need to give the introduction, I need to tell about my website to someone. Then what it will be called? Information of information. Website is actually a contents. Website is actually a collection of information on the internet. Now, about my information I need to tell, so it will be called as information of information. So, information about my website can be defined with the help of meta tags. So, meta tags, whatever information we write in the meta tags will not be displayed in the browser's window. It does not affect the audience. It only for the keyword when we are searching through the search engines. It is basically information about our websites. So in this we can give the character set. We can give the meta name. Name means what is the viewport and what will be the content in the viewport, its width, its size, initial scale is given. So these are the character set, name, then contents. These are the information This is the information about our website. It will not be displayed on browser's window. It is basically for the creators, for the developers, not for the audience. So then move on to the title tag. Title is defined there. We are closing with the head tag. Then this is the body tag. This is the again inline style sheet. This is the another example of inline style sheet. Style we have taken. In the style we have taken font size. Then the value for the font size. Then we have taken the color. Then we have given the color code. Then semicolon. Then background is the another attribute. This is the value for the background color. This is the RGB values. Then padding is the another attribute. Padding means the space between. This is the value. How much space we want. Then again border. Border will be at the left hand side. Thickness of the border is 5 pixel. Then color for the border is also given. So these are the different attributes. All attributes can be used with the style tag. First thing, this is the inline CSS because we have defined it within the body tag. Then we have all the values with the help of colon separated by semicolon to start with the another attribute. So these are the different values given. Any tag, here we have applied it till the P tag. You can do it with the table tag. You can do it with the heading tag. Suppose you want to apply all these things for the heading level 1. So in place of P, you will write H1 and then entire properties. So this is the inline CSS. Now, how does this CSS works? Just focus on it. The style attribute is added directly to the P tag. As we added the style tag to the P tag, it can be defined with the H1 tag. It can be defined with the another levels of heading. It can be defined with the table tag. It can be defined with the P tag as well. So these are the different tags and you can apply it with any of the tag with the help of style attribute. The styles are written with the double quotes. The method is always, like we have discussed, colon and semicolon both are used for defining the name of the attribute and the value of the attribute, separated by the semicolon, again the name of the attribute and value of the attribute, and in between both of them there should be a colon sign. Now for the inline, the another example is given. I am giving you some examples so by which you will understand how to do the coding. We have taken the P tag, paragraph tag, then we have taken the style, color blue, only we have taken the one attribute color and the value is blue, colon and semicolons are there. This is the close. This is the another example of inline CSS. One more example is given there. Document type is the HTML. Language we are using English. Meta character set we have defined which character set we are using. Meta name is there. Again I am repeating, this is the information about our website, and it will be helpful when you will be using the SEO, search engine optimization. In our next video we will be discussing about how meta tags are related to SEO. Width is given, so this is the basically with the help of the meta tag we can define the information about our website, so it can be called as information of information. Then we have defined that style. This class we have created. This is the example of internal CSS. Now it can be called in the body tag P. We have called it. See now, the another example is of one more example for CSS external. External CSS is placed in the separate CSS file. Link for the file can be, so link rel style sheet and reference is given. This is the name for the CSS, and here we have called, this is the basically link for the CSS file. Now what are the syntax? Basically set syntax for the your code. Selector should be there, properties are there and their value. What does the syntax mean? Syntax means way of writing the command, way of writing the tags. There is a proper format for that. Special characters are there and their special characters has set their values where it to be used. So this H1 is the selector. Color and font size are the properties and blue and 30 pixels are the values. So this is the basically syntax of CSS properties, where the curly braces to be used, where we have to write the name of the attribute, then semicolon to be used or colon to be used. So way of writing the command, way of writing the tags is known as the syntax. So this is the entire syntax for the CSS. So yes, we have in this session we have discussed about what the CSS mean, What are the different types of CSS? External CSS, internal CSS and inline CSS, and we have discussed about all these three in detail with the help of many examples. So let's move on to the next session.